Today, my audience is my brother Sean.
You can start now.
Okay. In uniform, we learned about the intercultural relationships. We see that playing a role in the movie Remember the Titans, and in this scene specifically.
Positions for Hammond players. Half the offense, half the special teams. We don't need any of your people on defense. We're already set.
Don't need none of my people. What you say name was Jerry?
Gary.
No, you must have said Jerry, like Lewis, which would make you Dean Martin, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, got an announcement to make. We got Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin going to camp with us here this year. Jerry tells the jokes, Dean sings the songs, and gets the girl. Let's give him a round of applause.
Where's your folks, Gary? Parents, are they here? Where are they?
That's my mother.
That's your mama? Very nice, that way. Take a good look at her. Because once you get on that bus, you ain't got no mama no more. You got your brothers on the team, and you got your daddy. Now, you know who your daddy is, don't you? Gary, if you want to play on this football team, you answer me when I ask you, who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Gary? Who's your daddy?
You.
And whose team is this? Is this your team?
In uniform, we learned about the 6 different cultural dimensions. And in this scene of Remember the Titans, we specifically see power distance, which is the relationship between higher and lower ranking people. In the beginning of the film, we see how the relationship between the original coach and the original players is more relaxed and kind of more of a friendship. After the integration and after the new coach, Coach Boone, we see how different the African American culture is. The African American culture is super strict and expects to be treated with a higher authority. This comes as a shock to the original players who were so used to the original coach's laid-back approach. And in the scene, we see when they first realized how different it actually is. As the film goes on, we see them gradually start to transform. The players learn to respect their coach and his strict tactics. They also learn to respect each other despite their differences. The coach also learned to become more friendly towards the players. He also learned to become more friendly towards the original coach. So not only did the original players change, but also the strict coach did. The benefit of this is that they are now able to work as a team with no obstacles. They then go on to play an undefeated season even after the tragic death of their friend. Thank you for listening.
Go ahead and get started.
Okay, so today my audience is my father. We are analyzing the film Remember the Titans. This is on group development. I'm going to be talking about the first leader and the first follower. The first example of the first leader that helps integrate the African American and Caucasian team together is Louis, an O-lineman that says he has no people, no group. So when he gets lunch and the two races are divided by the black table and the white table, he does something different that no one expects. He gets his food, he sits down with the African American students. And they look at him and they ask why he's doing this, and he says, I'm not with them, I'm not with you, I have no people, it's just me. And then we see the African American table at first reject him, but as more follow him, they start to realize that people are people, race doesn't matter, and they get along just fine.
What you doing, man? Eating lunch. I see you eating lunch. Why you eating over here? Don't you going over there eat with your people? I don't have any people. I'm with everybody, Julius. Yeah, you just a light-skinned brother. Yeah, and I'm a dark-skinned cracker.
sunshine. In the locker room, he gets approached by multiple African American students, and instead of reacting hostilely like the rest of the Caucasian students, he shows them a little brotherly love. They say he got soul power, and that would be the second follower of Louis, the first follower of Louis, showing the rest of the Caucasian group that it's okay to be friends with African Americans. Later, the rest of the team comes together, they get integrated through hardship, and they end up all being friends.
For my audience, I have my aunt.
Hello, everyone. You can go ahead and get started.
Okay, so basically for the concept that I'm going to be talking about is Unit 3, and it's managing teams. And the two concepts that I'm going to be talking about is social loafing and team roles. So basically how I seen social loafing incorporated into the film was with the character Ray. Ray was Gary's best friend in the very beginning of the movie, and that kind of slowly went away as Gary started actually being introduced to not necessarily like being racist towards the other African American players. Like, he actually pushed himself to come together as one whole team to get to where they were towards the end of the film, which was to the championship. And Ray was very close-minded when it came to that, so he didn't really see the need to get along with them. And that's exactly how I seen him to be a social loafer, because he wasn't making the effort like everyone else was. Everyone else was trying to bond as one whole, and he was kind of just on the side and just didn't want to be incorporated into any of that, because I don't want to say that he was racist, but he was discriminating towards the African American teammates like everyone else was in the beginning of the movie. And the team roles is basically Gary being the captain of the whole team. So in the scene, it shows that when Rev got hurt, they were in the locker room, and then Gary pulls Coach Boone to the side and basically like tells him that he wants to kick Ray off the team. And Gary is able to tell Ray that he's kicked off the team, and Ray's very upset, but he knew what he did, so he kind of just accepted it, and he got mad, but he couldn't really do anything about it.
Can I speak to you in private?
Sure. What's on your mind, sir?
I want Ray off the team, Coach.
You know my policy.
Yes, sir. And I respect it. I know that Ray missed that block on purpose. Sometimes you just gotta cut a man loose.
Well, you're the captain. You make a decision, but you support your decision. Right?
You're on.
What?
I'm not gonna let you play for this team anymore.
Oh yeah, Jerry Lewis. You go and tell Coach Kuhn what to do just like last time? But then that's right. He is your daddy now, isn't he? You don't cut anybody. Am I, Gary?
And that is pretty much a team role, because I feel like every team, especially for a football team, has to have some sort of like leadership role or someone as the leader, because if no one is, then I feel like if no one was team captain, then basically Coach Boone was going to have Booney was supposed to like kick him off of the team, but Gary was able to do that. So I just think those two concepts really did peak in the scene that I chose.
Alright, so for my audience, I have my mom right here.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm gonna go with my analysis on Remember the Titans. So for week 2 on our book, chapter 2 on group discussions in 2.2, where we discuss understanding the group. Now, in the movie, we see how no one really gets along, like they don't know each other, they don't understand each other, or basically all that. And everybody is treated different because of their skin color and everything like that. But we notice as we continue watching the movie that Coach Herman takes them to a cemetery where the Battle of Gettysburg happened. And then he discussed to the team how they don't have to like each other, but they will respect each other, because if no one comes together to understand with each other or anything like that, then they're going to eventually be destroyed, just like the soldiers in the battle.
Take a lesson from the dead. If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed. Just like they were. I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other.
I give Campbell. Yeah, I love me a little contact, Petey. This is left side. Strong side. Left side. Strong side. Left side. Strong side. Left side. Strong side. Left side. Strong side.
And that's pretty much summarize what we read in chapter 2 to understand the groups, because everybody is treated different, and because of that, some of us don't treat each other well, and and no one like respects each other, like treat each other right and understand and work together, then things will fall apart and fail. But Coach Herman, he helped them a lot to understand better. Thank you.
Good job. Hello everyone. For my audience today, I have my mom.
Okay, you can start.
My analysis of the film, Remember the Titans, is about two teams, one black, one white, who are forced to integrate and become one team. The team is then faced with multiple challenges that they must overcome to go on and win multiple football games and eventually the championship game. In Unit 3, we discuss managing teams. To manage a team, we must develop team skills. There are multiple skills to complete in order to develop a team, which include establishing common objectives, decision-making as a team, defining clear roles, building familiarity, praise and encouragement, celebrating differences, and lastly, which displayed in the following clip, where the team used singing as a form of team bonding, establishing common rituals.
Like eagles, they were walking that growth.
In the film, we see the head coach, Coach Boone, use multiple strategies compared to our class team skills to bring his team together so they can learn to get along with one another and play as a team.